Go!
Hello.
Hey Sage,
Hello, Thibaud.
what's up?
Good. Thanks. How are you?
Great, I have some good news for you today.
Oh, what is it?
We have a Wagtail release candidate to test.
Wow.
I know, right?
When did that happen?
Well, funny you should ask. I have the dates right in front of me. Just a sec. Ta-da!
Wow.
Have you worked on this release, Sage?
Oh, have I?
Let's be real. How much of your heart and soul have you poured into this over the last
No.
many months?
A lot. It's hard to quantify, I think.
Let's give ourselves some love. Let's give ourselves one favorite. Okay, let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah.
Sage, I don't know if you've done this before. Have you ever tried release candidate on the real world project?
Mm. Bakery demo is all I got, I
Bakery
think.
demo, our official demo site.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare for me as well, and that's why we thought it would be really cool for us to actually try it out proper. Give people an example of what it looks like to try a release candidate of Wagtail on a project. Um, We have the release candidate announcement posts from our colleague Matthew, aka Gasman, that has quite a bit more details on what it means to try to release candidate and what to look out for in a specific release. Um, and it's also very timely because it's not just Wagtail that has a release candidate, or I guess has a pre-release to try. Do you know another project, Sage, that might have a pre-release at the moment?
Ooh.
Starts with a D.
Does it end with an O?
Yes, it does. Django 5.2 Alpha 1. Should we try
Wow.
the Django Alpha and our release candidate at the same time?
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah, I don't even know if that's possible. But have you looked at the Django release candidates yet?
Well, I'm running the dev version on my machine, so
Ooh. There are quite a few things on here I have been aware of, and lots more that I have not seen yet. So it'll be very interesting to spend time on there. We'll see if that's possible. It'll be fun to try. I thought before we get going with this, I'll also share, I guess, some context on how important this is for us, the release candidates, and I assume the same for Django. Um, yeah, Sergio and I have spent lots of time testing those features we've added to Wagtail, but there is, testing with our demo site, and then there is the contact with the real world, the real world of how people set up Wagtail sites in all sorts of different ways. So what we're looking at here is our statistics on how many people out there test the release candidates. So by version, keep tabs of how many times the release candidates are downloaded. And basically, the more the merrier. Um, Sometimes we make lots of a push and lots of people try it out, and sometimes we make less of a push and fewer do. Yeah, this is super helpful for us to get that kind of feedback before the final release. Have I shared this with you, Sage, before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The numbers, Steve-O, what do they mean?
uh, so yeah, I guess when I say by version, so this is the numbers of download between the time at which we've released our, pre-release version and the time of the actual release. So basically this date for Wagtail 6.4, that would be when we put the release candidate number one, and that date will be early February when Wagtail 6.4 actually goes live for people. And then like everything after is just trying to quantify how that how release candidates downloads compare with normal Wagtail downloads. Like for
Mhm.
example, if we had 1,000 RC downloads and only 10,000 people use Wagtail, that's a big number, 1,000 RC downloads. Whereas if we have 100,000 people testing Wagtail, and we still get 1,000 downloads. That's a bit less. Um, anyway, there's no right or wrong number. It's just fun to track to see how successful we are at encouraging people to try it out, basically. And yeah, let's take the plunge. Um, I thought I would demo this on wagtail.org.
Ooh,
I've just opened it in my IDE. Um, how do we get going? I guess I can get my dev setup up and running and hope for the best.
maybe
Um,
you want to make sure that it's on the latest main branch.
probably. No module named Django. That's a good start. Okay, I have not set it up in a while. Let's do the Docker setup so I don't have to check exactly how I might or might not have set up this project in the past. Um, People who might not have used Docker yet, I'm looking around to check what's the best command to get the project up and running. I'm sure it's well documented in the README, but I like to have a peek at the configuration to see for myself. Um, all right, and port 8000. Okay, so I probably will also need to log into the container and to run server. Do you like Docker, Sage?
Sometimes it can get complicated sometimes,
It
but
can get complicated.
it does help sometimes.
Oh, might have to reset this account. Okay, there's quite a bit more needed to do, but we should be able to get there. Um,
Create cache table.
yeah, I'm surprised that ooh, I can never remember which of the commands are
No
underscore
S.
underscore separated or not.
Is is there any command that is? I think the official ones from Django don't have an underscore.
None of them?
Maybe I can't recall any of them. Yeah.
Oh, true, yeah. That's the rule then. Look, this is my power user workflow. Hit
Ooh,
refresh.
you can't see you refreshing enough.
Why do we have static files not loading? That's interesting. Um,
It's not in the cache, is it?
I mean browser cache?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice one, Sage.
Always the cache.
I'm surprised not to have my media files working either, but it could be that I deleted the files um, at some point in the past to save space on my computer.
Oh,
Um, and I think that should be okay anyway as far as testing. Wagtail 6.3.1, so we are one patch release behind the latest. Um, I assume we don't need to go to the latest patch. I can just do pip install Wagtail 6.4 and see what happens.
yeah. Here, shall we
I've
try the um, dev zero thing? Um,
So Wagtail greater than 6.4 dev 0 is what you want to try.
I think so, yeah.
Can you say more about it?
Well, why is there no output?
It's not a good sign, is it?
Oh
Ooh.
no. No, you have a file called six. 4 times 0 equals actually. It's,
I assume
yeah,
there is, sorry.
uh, yeah, sorry. That was like redirecting the standard output. But yeah, the dot version dev 0 is one of the valid version specifiers. So this allows you to just use whatever I guess, the version newer than 6.4, including pre-releases. So if in the future we put out a new RC release like RC2, that'll install RC2 instead of RC1.
Yeah, we do quite often. Actually, I have some stats on that.
Yeah.
Number of RCs. Wow, it's been a while that we've not had RC2. Last time, well, we had one in May. Well, actually a year ago, technically.
RC1 was a mistake and it was immediately followed up by RC2, so it doesn't really count, I'd say.
Oh no, that's why. So actually, it's been since, wow, 2.5 years ago now that we've not had multiple RCs. Yeah, we used to do that way more.
Yeah, because I think 3.0 and 4.0 was like the big jump to the UI.
Yes. Is this Wagtail's Python free thing or?
You can say that.
Oh, we definitely didn't go all the way there. Okay, we are on the latest and greatest Sage.
Wow.
Um,
Well, no, unless you install from main.
that'll be for another day. Okay, and I assume that I will still need to. Who can I remember the manage.py commands to change passwords? Is it that? What?
I think you need to,
Um,
yeah, provide the user.
I was not expecting that. Maybe I just didn't read the error message, or maybe our error message is just the kind that doesn't tell you if the account doesn't exist. What's your go-to password, Sage, for your local dev setup?
Change me.
Change me. Do you know where change me comes from?
I feel like I saw it somewhere, but I'm not sure. Where does it come from?
I don't know either. I'd just be very interested to know why, at least for Wagtail, all of our demo sites, like local development demo sites, the admin password is always change me. It is just so ironic and tasty to know that. Okay, we are in, and it
Wow.
is Wagtail 6.4 RC1. And woohoo! We have our page that tells us what has changed. So at least
Wow.
that works. That's great. And in the sidebar, I have my notification that we have a new release. Thank you, Sage, for creating that capability.
Wow, it's been years.
I still love it. You know, it's so easy when you're walking on a site with lots of people for the person that does the upgrades not to necessarily know who to tell that the upgrade has happened. And now, even if they didn't know or someone wasn't around, like they were on holidays or something, at least when they log in the CMS, they know that things have changed and they have a sense of why.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I guess when I try a new version of Wagtail like this as part of a site upgrade, I'd probably spend time trying out some of the site's features to see that they still work with the new version. Um, like exploratory testing with, some sense of what the site's custom features are. But for today, we could probably look at the release notes and see top to bottom how to test them? Since it's a release candidate, we probably want to try the specific features that are in there, no?
Yeah.
And the first one is background tasks. That's quite a cool one. Have
Ooh.
you um, spent time looking into this before, Sage?
Um, I read Jake's RFC, but and also his enhancement proposal, but I haven't actually tried the package. But now we're forced to because it's it's now it's now a requirement of Wagtail now.
Yes, that's so, so cool. Does he link to the RFC in there? Yeah, RFC 72. RFC 72 from 2021 from Jake, which turned into DEP 14 for Django, which turned into the Django tasks package as a reference implementation. And I'm not sure if he links to his pull request to Django in here, but yeah, definitely at some point this will be directly in Django itself. But for now, we get to try the package. And I have not ever used it myself, so I think we'll just have to trust the documentation of the package to know what to test. My understanding is that by default, it's using, yeah, this thing called immediate backend, which means that nothing's actually running in the background. It just works the same as before in the current thread. And yeah, we have a few other backend options. I assume eventually there'll be like, you know, task queue backends, but for now we have a database one. Let's try database backend and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the release notes for Wagtail, we have a note of which features will work differently. Search index, creating entries for the reference index, image focal points. Wow, that's quite cool. I didn't realize. Um, Maybe we can look at the reference index and the search index. Have you worked on the reference index yourself, Sage?
Not directly. So yeah, I've used it in different places, but I was not very involved in the implementation of the index itself.
I haven't either, and I'm very glad that there are clever people out there that do this. Um, I didn't know there were two, like Wagtail update index and update index. I wonder if it's just some backwards
Yeah,
compatibility thing.
no, it's to avoid clash with different package that uses the same command. I think there's another
Oh,
package that has update index command.
I'm glad I've never had to think about namespace clashing for management commands before.
Mhm.
So it looks like the index updating works the same as before with Django tasks installed. And the references index, do you want to talk to us about what it's for, Sage?
Yeah, it's for tracking the use of model instances inside fields that may not necessarily be foreign keys, but it also includes tracking references through foreign keys. But in Wagtail, we also have things like stream field, which is semi-structured data that uses JSON. And
Semi-structured. Oh, that's so funny. I wonder, like, if there is someone that's made a chart of the spectrum of data structuredness from like literally a blob of nothing to I don't know what's the most structured you could get. What happens
SQL
in
is pretty structured.
what's pretty structured?
SQL.
SQL? Yeah, but you know, even these days, cool kids SQL, like there is JSON
Oh
fields.
no.
I'm just getting up multiple terminals so I can um, run those commands without quitting the server. We do go there again. Um, Yeah, I think I feel like in my mind it's pretty structured, to be honest. Like obviously, we don't necessarily intend people to query this data super easily, but there is a schema that makes the reference index feasible to start with.
Yep.
Um, okay, so let's switch over to the different task backend and hope for the best.
Mhm.
Requires Django tasks that backends the database adding to installed apps. That's interesting.
Yeah, you might have to run migrations after that.
Let's take a peek. Ooh, migrations is another thing that I'm so happy clever people
Oh,
have figured out, and they made it a part of the framework because, yeah, I don't want to reinvent that. Ooh, typing.
no.
Jake, oh my gosh. Are we adding types to Django now?
Very brave.
I am giving a talk at FOSDEM, not this weekend, but the one after. And the topic is existential threats to Django. And one of the threats will be making a decision on typing. Because I feel like these days, lots of people, rightly or not, expect it from their um, frameworks.
Yeah, because in some cases it also helps with, well, not in some cases, in a lot of cases it helps with IDE as well as you write your
Yeah,
code. It's very helpful.
yeah, just that
Yeah.
string none, even for the most basic of stuff. Like it's just not having to keep in your head like whether the dot get method here, what it defaults to. Well, obviously, you still have to trust but verify it, but
Mm.
yeah, saves time. Okay, we are officially running the database backend according to this. I thought there might be some migrations showing up here. Oh, I forgot to add the installed apps line. Did you see Sage Simon Willison's Django plugins?
I did, yeah. It's
What do you
very
think of it?
magical. Very magical. But also, well, I can't imagine it being big at this point, because Django is very mature. But if
Yeah,
it were something that Django came up with in the very beginning, I can see it being like the way to install Django plugins.
yeah, that's a good point. That's another of my threads for my talk is like just Django. I think lots of people would say one of its strengths is the package ecosystem, but it is non-trivial when you start to combine lots of different packages to make sure they all work together. Um, and make sure they all work together. Like that's both on the package maintainers, but also helping users um, configure and customize the packages is quite tricky.
Mhm.
Um, okay, I feel like we should be up and running. Um, Nothing has just disappeared, so update references index. Hope for the best. YOLO. uh, I could
It's a
use tab
rebuild.
completion, but is there a way to empty it altogether?
I think it started out by emptying it out,
Ah, okay.
but you can technically delete all instances of the reference index model.
Yeah. Well, it all seems to be working. I think if I wanted to double check, I might also. I've never used this command, so there's a fair chance it's just me not using it right. Um, if we had more time, I might also look at um, database management tool to see what's happening in there. But for now, I think we can just trust Jake to have done it right. And um, see if there's anything else to test. Yeah, okay. So this would also be all be if we wanted to hmm, to spend more time in there. Ah, that's what I was missing. So why does it still work then?
Hmm.
Like that? I was a bit surprised it was so magical. So maybe the output here is the same, but the actual indexing hasn't happened?
Well, I'm not exactly sure which part of the rebuild command makes use of the tasks.
Yep. Maybe, maybe I'm thinking of this wrong. And what's actually happening is the command is already, quite friendly towards background workers. So maybe we've not actually updated the command, we've just updated the rebuilding of the index when you actually make changes in the CMS.
I
There is a
think I
way.
think that's what happens. Yeah, I'm currently looking at the code. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like if you rebuild the whole index, that's still not using because it doesn't really make sense to.
defer it to another command.
Yeah, it's for taking something out of the what's normally in the request response cycle.
Yeah. So I think the way we could test this is to add a reference or do a page publication that would update the search index, see it's not happened, and then see the changes later.
Yeah,
Let's give it a quick go. I feel like I might be um, a bit out of my depth with this. It might be better for switch to other features, but um, can try. So for example, if I change the page title here, I would assume it would have to be reflected in the search index. Um, um, Published in 2025. Let's keep it simple. And I think from what I recall, when you hit publish here, you get a setting in Wagtail to decide, like a Django setting to decide if you want the search index to be updated automatically or for that to be deferred. So I assume that with the Django tasks database backend, that would now be picked up by this DB worker, but there might be more configuration needed.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to have any output there.
Yeah. All right. We'll just trust Jake on this one and switch over to the next one over and get back to testing this more once we've had more time to get up to speed with Django Tasks API. Ooh, preview for stream field blocks. Sage.
Wow.
How exciting.
What is that?
Well, I mean, I could show you a screenshot, but we have Sage himself who implemented the feature. Tell us more, Sage.
What is a stream field block?
You know, you say that, but I realized until today that we actually didn't use the word stream field ever in our user guide for Wagtail CMS
Ah,
users.
is that intentional?
I do not know. We do use it in marketing material for the CMS, but I think it's one of those terms that, if you've never heard of it before, you don't know. So in the interface, at least within the CMS, it is very intentional that it never says stream field. It just talks about blocks because that's a more agnostic term.
Yep.
Yeah, in the docs, I think I'd prefer to keep it to two blocks as well, but now and then it can be helpful to use more idiosyncratic terminology. Yeah, that's what I drafted it here with.
Okay.
Um, yeah, let's try it out. So, Sage, you've not written documentation yet for this?
I have. Uh, but very briefly, I intend to update it during the RC release.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah. So this is the brief documentation on how to configure it. But I guess before we do that, maybe we should look into the current state of the block picker.
Sure. So we're going to go. Let's go back to the same blog page. It's using Streamfield quite a bit. Um, hmm, Headless survey. So we have our standalone CTA block within the stream fields with quite a few other options. And I guess I can pick any of the options. I can type something, and I'll see the results on the preview off to the side here. Why do we need a block preview, Sage?
Hmm. Well, if you look at the options we have for the blocks, maybe like what does a teaser CTA block look like?
Well,
Well,
like a diamond, obviously, because it has a diamond right there, Sage. Ooh.
oh,
Yeah, I'm a dev, so I've been, subjecting myself to this UI for quite a while, and like already looking at this, it looks like none of the fields are required, but I can see off to the side here that there are validation errors. So you know that some of these it's filling in, and then it's a test of, okay, which fields might I need to
why
fill
does it
in?
not have the asterisk? Or
Yeah, I think there is a bug in Streamfield specifically for that. Or it could
mm,
just be that, it's conditional validation where it expects one of the three and
oh
we don't
yeah,
really have
yeah,
a
that
good,
makes sense.
yeah, the language in the UI isn't so good for dependent
I guess if
validation
you,
like this.
yeah, if you clear it and then you save it, then it tells you. But before that, there's because it's also not very friendly to just show an error message right away.
True. Yeah, we need some kind of help text that says fill one or the other.
Yeah, and that's already possible if the developer added a help text for the block, right? I
True.
think. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those features that I think has been there for quite a while, but people don't necessarily realize. And maybe also they copy paste their block definition from project to project and don't forget to check if the new capabilities might be there. Okay, so that's a page teaser. Um, I wonder if I should add at least one test image to the site so it's a bit more meaningful. Um,
That's sad.
I know it's just me that has a broken dev setup. Um, then we do.
Because it's quite a lot of files. The Wagtail.org website has been around since for as long as Wagtail existed, right? So it's got a lot of media files if we were to pull it all to your local machine.
Yep. Ooh.
Ooh.
Now we're in business. Okay, so I was able to tell what the block looks like, and now we can try the block preview.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the reason why there's this new thing called block previews is, as you just noticed, we had to actually try to insert the block and then fill out the data to see what it's going to look like, which if you are an editor and your developer has set up different types of blocks and you're currently writing your content, it can get in the way in terms of like you may not know which block to choose. Like you've you don't remember the exact block because there's different types of blocks, and it's going to be it would have been very useful if you could know what the block looks like before you choose it. And that's the thing that we're going to um, add to Wagtail.
Indeed. And in real world websites, this is a real world website, but I certainly think there are sites out there that have even more blocks than this because you don't necessarily want to have too many page types. So it's quite natural to instead ramp up the numbers of blocks so you have more flexibility. And then there might be, yeah, twice that amount is no problem really.
Mhm.
And then, within those block types, maybe there's some nesting even, and that gets even trickier to know what's what. Um, okay, let's see if your docs are good, Sage. Shown inside the block picker. To enable this feature, you must configure the preview value and templates. Yes. Description. Great. I like that. Let's do description first. So here you have it on the struct block directly as a query parameter, and then you have it in the meta class of the block.
Yeah, so you can do it in different ways. Just adapt to what your current code is like.
Mhm. I can already, again, like with the maintainer's perspective, hear someone in my mind asking, oh, can I change this based on the current user?
Okay.
Which of those methods take the request object, Sage? Just tell us.
Context.
Context.
You can find the request in the context.
It's funny how often that comes up. I don't know if it's funny or if I should see a bigger pattern here. Let's see if we can find the blocks. So we're in the blog area of the site. And yeah, okay, so we have blocks.py, but in this case, it all inherits from story block that is shared across other areas of the site. So we'll head there. Okay, quite a few block types coming straight from Wagtail, and a few coming from a separate blocks file specific to the project. We were looking at teaser block, right?
Yep.
So we have all of the fields. We can see the custom validation. Um, Definitely something that we want to streamline someday, being able to select from different um, types of links. Is this where you would set up the block help text as well?
Um, don't think I'm not sure if struct block has help text. It's usually in the field blocks,
Yeah.
like a charter block or um yeah, URL block or something.
Yeah, so help text, I think it's interesting nuance there. I don't know if it's supposed either or not, I just thought I'd check. The point, I guess, is to help people fill the form. Description, the point is to help people understand what even the hell is a teaser block to start with. So I guess we could describe either the visuals or the intended use, or both. So maybe I could say something about featuring an existing page with uh, full width um,
Is it a card or
teaser content and image. And maybe we could describe also here which page types it's been built for specifically. You know, it could be that it's reused across lots of the sites now and then, but has been built primarily for this or that type of content.
Mhm.
Um, is that the right length? Do you think it would be better if it had more?
Mm, it wouldn't hurt to have more, but that's also already a good description.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I do need to have the preview set up for description to appear.
Yeah,
So I'll do that
currently.
next. So preview underscore value.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a chunky one for us to get started with.
I guess we can use a custom URL instead, just to ease things up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you need a page, you're going to need to make a database query.
So then I would do that inside the get context rather than, oh no, inside get
Get
preview value.
yes.
Let's see if
Oh no, I haven't tested this. What's gonna happen? What is this?
I was not expecting that either. Oh, okay, that might just have been me.
You also need to set up a preview template.
Ooh. So Sage, you've added a few options to do that, and I think your personal go-to would be the global template.
Yeah, because you likely already have a custom template for your blocks.
Yep. Teaser. Yeah, teaser block. We even have some test data for it already. Um,
Oh,
teaser block. Teaser block. Oh, CTA.
no, it's right above that.
Oh, thank you. Too many options. I got blind. Oh, teaser block preview is failing.
Mm.
See, that's why it's better for it to be directly in Wagtail. Then there is no need to use YAML for the configuration. But at least here I could reuse the exact same thing as there for consistency.
Yeah.
Or, we could iframe that preview if we preferred. But I
Yeah,
think
and
for us,
just to clarify, that template, sorry, the pattern library is not related to what we were talking about in Wagtail.
no. Should it be?
Mm, that's a good question.
Is that enough, Sage?
Well, ideally you should extend from the built-in template because that's going to be like the actual page used for the iframe.
So I have it in, do I have it in the right folder?
I mean, yeah, if you don't want to set up the right path, you can, for now, you can set a specific template just for that block, but not the others.
It's not the right path?
It is. I think it is.
I'm surprised it doesn't just show up here, even with my silly templates.
Oh, wait. Um, what's the order of the uh,
Yes,
installed apps?
I do not know.
Or have you reloaded the server? Because um, you might need to for the template loader to pick the new directory.
Ah, good point. Always forget about this. I wonder if there's a technical reason why it's not auto-detecting templates outside the loader being reloaded. Ooh,
Ooh,
look at that, Sage. We even have a few other blocks that just have it working just like that.
wow. What do they look like? I wonder.
Oh, oh, hello,
Hello. Ooh.
hello, hello.
Everything is just hello.
See, that's why I really like that Matthew started work for the next release of Wagtail on default validation. To me, like I really like to go incremental and do the least amount of work to get some feedback from the technology that things are set up, and then I can invest time actually making sure that it's used correctly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, and thankfully, Sage has just provided the template to copy.
Yay.
mystyles.css. Let's see, how do we do it elsewhere? I guess we want to look at our base site template and make sure that we're going similar enough, right?
Yep. Oh, manifest.
I don't know. Apparently, this irks me. The quotes are.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's good.
And JavaScript. Do we need JavaScript for
Mm,
block?
maybe not.
Oh, see, the quotes are right here.
Mhm. Yeah, if you
All
don't need
right.
it, you can omit the JavaScript. But I
Yeah.
guess just to be safe, we can add it for now.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing I'd like to omit, but it might also cause pain further down the line. Okay, teaser.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh, I guess it's the review values.
Test, test, test.
Yeah. No,
Expected end block. Ah, manifest, of course. Do you know where manifest comes from, Sage?
I don't. I don't think I've heard of it. I thought
I will be
it would.
honest. I don't recall why this is set up like that on this project. Oh, it's using the manifest webpack
Oh,
loader. That's why.
mm,
Fancy stuff.
where is it now? Okay, yeah.
That's the
That's
one I
your
was
fault.
expecting.
By the way, you might not need to reload the page because it's in an iframe.
Ooh. Yes, that's true. Look, Sage.
Wow, what is that? Why is it like that? Why is it just test?
What were you
Where's the,
expecting?
well, where's the, I don't know, the blue thing?
I'm guessing this is
Ah, ah, hmm.
that's a lot of tests. And the blue thing is indeed missing. I'm gonna guess that's simply enough. This blocks styles depend on more than what we have in the template at the moment. So we might need
Oh, it might need the bug fix that I added in my PR.
which
Yeah.
one?
Adding the div wrapper that has the block dash block
Uh,
name CSS class.
don't know.
Mm.
Um,
Or you can always open it in a new tab. Hmm.
maybe it's something with the screen width that got in the way. So certainly here,
What if
um,
you open the iframe in a new tab?
oh, the iframe.
Yeah,
Sure. Block.
there, block preview. Yep.
Okay, we need a different block ID then. So that's definitely a feature that is promising, but takes quite a bit of work to adopt, right?
Yep. Is it 127?
123 probably is the first one that I did. So
I was thinking of looking at the iframe directly and just look at the SRC tag, uh, the attribute.
what do you mean?
Um, when you open the block picker, there it is. Ah,
That's just a screen width thing. Why does it show twice, Sage? What have I done wrong?
hmm. What does your block preview template look like? Hmm.
What does your block preview make look like?
Oh, maybe because you provided both. Um, was it both the page and the URL? Hmm.
That is an option. Let's make it a bit more real. Um, teaser content, that's so cool. This is such.
Yeah, Very good copywriting, Thibaud.
Thank you. Hey,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, I like that. Do you think it's possible for me to just get preview value then, and just like you said about images, fetching it from the database, would I be able to scour through my Wagtail content and find an instance of it, like a real one, and use that?
Yeah, we can do that right now.
I feel like it's a
Well,
bit beyond me, but I'd just like
uh,
to know if it's possible.
it is definitely possible. Yeah, so instead of providing preview value in your meta class, you can override the get preview value method in the block class,
Yeah.
and then you can do your, Django query against the image model, for example, and get, for example, get a random image or like the last image uploaded, maybe. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's
or
the docs you were hoping to add, right? Like those methods. What you use
yeah,
now?
yeah, and I'm still not sure where that docs should live because I don't think we have like the reference API for stream fields
Hmm.
currently. So yeah. Yes, some of the like documentation for other methods like get template, for example, they currently live in this very page, just a few lines above. I think if you look for get template, yeah. So it tells you how to use it and how to override it, but there's
Yeah.
no like the reference section for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
method itself. And I'm not sure what to do.
So why would there be a reason why you can't add it to the block reference?
No reason. I was thinking of adding it there. Um, but yeah, currently the Git template itself doesn't have like ideally I'd like it to be like side by side or like next to each other.
Yeah.
So maybe I should add that as well.
I would guess that in the reference it's good to cover as many things as possible and ideally have it be automated when it's an option so you don't have to um think too hard of what to cover or not to cover. And then in a how-to, you can be more intentional about the order in which you cover things so that people are more likely to pick up the patterns that you think work well.
Yeah, I guess the problem is if you do it automatically, people might assume that everything is included in the deprecation policy.
Hmm. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, usually we do a combination of both. So we automatically generate the documentation based on the signatures and any doc strings, but we still select what methods we want to document manually so that we
Yeah,
don't accidentally document private methods.
got it. Okay. Um, let's try one more feature. It definitely takes time to try with these candidates.
Yeah.
I think I'm really appreciative of people who take the time to do that because it's super helpful to us. But I guess, yeah, I guess there's the benefit that then you have a better sense of what it will take you to upgrade as well, maybe.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, stream field blocks we've covered. Headless documentation is documentation changes that are super helpful, but hopefully won't break anything. It's just more docs. Thank you, Saiva and Alex. Um, Alt text improvements. That'll take quite a bit of time to check out. So let's try the shorthand.
Yeah, that'll be quick and simple.
This is really cool. Like I have no idea how long Matthew has been working on this and like whether it came from specific discussions or no, but feels like such a win to reduce the syntax a bit.
Yeah.
Um, so I think what we want to do here is compare our page editing form before and after switching to this shorthand syntax?
Well, nothing will change, but the code will.
Yep. So that would be, oh yeah, here, for example, that'd be neater. And we were looking at a blog page. And yeah, so oh wow, so many of
Oh,
those fields we could simplify. Interesting to know how he's handled if you don't use this class defaults, headings, and labels. Um, let's convert it all, shall we, and see side by side what's happened.
yeah.
No, yes, check. So we said side by side, so I think I can put another browser window with the same page.
I don't know if Chrome has it, but Microsoft Edge has a split view.
Split view?
Yeah,
Really?
it's very cool.
Moving over right now. Do you use Microsoft Edge?
Uh, yeah, sometimes. Not at work for some reason. I think just because for my personal stuff, I have it synchronized.
Makes sense. How do you use the split view? Sage, teach us.
I think if you click on the, I'm not sure what that is. That the one? Yeah.
What? Wow. Let me take a moment to adjust my screen sharing so we can make the most of this.
Nice.
Okay, so let's say left will be before and then right will be after. So I assume I can refresh that one without the other refreshing. Yeah, and then we can make the changes and see what happens.
Mhm.
Boom, 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 boom.
Look at this 10 times engineer.
uh, yeah, that's what they do with their macros, right?
You have bindings?
Honestly, like I've considered picking them up a few times, but I don't know, I just couldn't. Feels
Same.
to me like there are more important things to optimize for than typing. I don't know, Sage, on a daily basis, do you spend more time writing or typing?
I spent more time thinking, I think.
That's a good point. Did it just work? Is it what just happened?
Did anything change?
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
look at that.
Mm.
Blog page related page 1. Blog page related page 2.
Blog
So
page, related page.
that's a lot of related.
And you can now actually click on it. It's not disabled, the add button,
Yes,
because
because we
yeah,
removed
yeah, yeah. So that changed.
well, that's really cool. Yeah, I think for inline panel, I feel like quite often you might want to customize the labels still,
Yep.
but the defaults are pretty decent. And so it's called blog page related page, I assume, because it derives from that.
Um, there might be
Oh no, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong.
yeah, yes,
That's
that
why that makes more sense. So I guess, yeah, you could just pick a better class name here if you wanted to trust those defaults. Yeah, or optimize the UI by using the longhand syntax.
Mhm.
Cool. Um, drag and drop, Sage?
Oh, who worked on that?
Who worked on that?
Oh, what is that?
Boom.
Oh,
Um, drag and drop, yeah, that warrants its own video, Sage. It's the coolest. I'll
mhm.
just leave that teaser. Search terms report. Do we use the search terms on this website?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Wow, we
Oh,
do.
headless. It's a favorite.
That's a good one. We do have a page about headless, but I would assume that it is relatively hard to spot. It might not be like in our main menus or anything. Um, that's a really useful feature. I'm really happy we landed this one and that we have it in the release notes. Performance optimizations. Oh, Sage. You've done lots of this. And then
Well,
there's a
thanks to your
plethora.
audit.
Yeah, well, there's more to do. There's a plethora of other features which will be worth testing, but not today. I think we've done good today, Sage. Some things work, some
Yay.
things need improvements. We'll
Definitely.
get there.
Yeah.
That was fun. I hope it encourages a few more people to test our release candidates and have fun with us. Maybe we'll do a live version of this at some point. Just go through this with people together.
Well, that would be fun. Yeah.
I'll think of a date and make it happen. And yeah, Wagtail 6.4 due to be released.
Mm.
Let's look at
First,
Sage's master calendar.
master calendar.
It is so cool, Sage. I wanna
I,
look at
I
it every
just
day if I
I
can.
just punch, punched a bunch of numbers. It's in the Wagtail organization now. I'm not sure if I linked it here. I think the one I linked here is still on my account. But if you just scroll up to the projects tab at the top on GitHub, what were what were you doing? Just scrolling down the discussion. Yeah. Ooh.
So we are here in red. And 6.4 is due Monday. Not next week Monday, but the one after. So
Mhm.
it's like what, 10 days left to test it? Do you think we're on schedule to ship on time?
I think so. Well, unless
Unless.
that's why we need your help.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Let's do some testing with Django 5.2 as well. So obviously quite important. I don't know if you've seen my message about this, but I assume that since Wagtail 6.4 is released before Django, we won't formally commit to supporting it, but we probably still will be supporting it anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably say that it has provisional support for it because currently our tests are passing with the Django 5.2 branch. So we expect any breaking changes in Django would be treated as regressions and therefore also release blockers for the 5.2 release. So by the time the final release of Django 5.2 is out, it shouldn't have any of those regressions anymore,
Mhm.
ideally, which is usually what happens. So yeah.
Maybe we'll add support in the patch release like we done before, considering there probably won't be any code changes.
Yeah, and yeah, there's currently nothing stopping you from installing Django 5.2 by the time Wagtail 6.4 comes out because the requirements, yeah, we have the upper boundary for Django set to 6.0 currently, which we're hoping to remove at some point in the future.
Are we?
I think so.
Oh, I liked the upper boundary.
Yeah, but
It's okay, I'll let it go. Let it go. Ooh, look at that. I know what I'm doing next after this meeting, Sage.
you should drop the Django upper boundary on Django pattern library. Why does it need to have it?
Because otherwise it just breaks without people noticing.
Well,
But yes, it would be neat if it just worked with every future version Django ever.
which
I
is
would love that
historically
too.
what happens, right? I mean,
For the
has
pattern
there been
library,
has there been many changes in Django that broke? Yeah.
I think like 3 or 4 to be honest.
Yeah.
If I screen shared again, um, this right here is exactly the type of thing that I wish we didn't ship the package with. So
Oh.
this is Django introducing a warning when a template tag is registered multiple times, which is
Mm.
fundamental aspect of how the binary works at the moment. Um,
I
yeah,
was
I
wondering
don't.
what that what that was about. Yeah.
Now you know. So I don't know which version of Django introduced that or which configuration change, but yeah, that's exactly the type of compatibility issue that, um, even if, for the sake of the argument, even if there was no code change to do in the library, I think I'd at least want to document in the release that introduces support for that version of Django.
Yeah,
Oh, now it'll
of
be a
course.
warning. Anyway, we'll get there. Thank you, Sage. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you, Thibaud, for actually doing all the testing. I'm just telling you what to do.
Pair programming is
Oh
good.
yeah, it is good.
Talk to you soon.
All right. See you.